Welcome to the Evolve Podcast. I'm your host, JOE FITZPATRICK. In this episode, we are going to cover my personal growth journey from the end of the Rising Summit podcast from my previous episode to now in 2022. In this episode, we will cover my relationships, my decision to quit drinking alcohol, personal weight loss that I decided to commit to, and the results that I've seen from that, and a little more. So let's go. At the time of recording the episode with Amanda in our previous podcast, that was in like July or August of 2020. It was a few months after the pandemic started. I was living in my old apartment in the Fan. And if you're not familiar with the Fan, that's the neighborhood in Richmond, Virginia, closest to Virginia Commonwealth University, VCU, that sort of fans out in the direction towards the west end of the city of Richmond. I started dating my partner, Suzanne, earlier that year in February of 2020. And we were social distancing partners. And I moved into that place in the Fan so that I could live closer to her. The apartment was only a couple blocks away from her place. We developed a very close relationship because we were spending so much time together. I definitely overindulged in, some sweets and takeout during the pandemic. I'd been on a weight loss journey for several years prior to that, but I wasn't achieving the goals that I wanted, and I was still really unhappy with my body weight and my body image. So I was looking for a program to help me to change my lifestyle, to be a bit more active. And I started looking for a coach. I found a couple different options on Facebook, and then I came across a program called Vegan Superhero Academy, which was targeted directly to me as a vegan. And that shit works. So I looked into it. It was a customized vegan strength training and nutrition program for people who are already plant-based. And since I fit into that category and it seemed like something that was a good fit for me, I reached out to them to schedule a call to get the information on it. And I talked to Anders, who's one of the co-founders of that business, and he got me signed up for the program. Thankfully, they were very flexible with setting up my payment schedule for the program, letting me pay a certain amount every week. And if I ever missed a payment, I was able to pay it back, and they were understanding of that. When I started the program, I was around 230 pounds, and I wasn't really doing any weight training. I was mainly doing cardio, a bit of running and biking. I knew that I needed to get into weight training, and one of my friends, Jonathan, he had recommended to me a training program that I started following a little bit before this, but it was sort of not really knowing exactly like what I should be doing. I was sort of following his plan and trying to see if it would work for me. Also, I didn't have like a good nutrition setup. Getting a coach was really helpful for me with figuring out a more specific plan that would meet my needs and help me achieve my goals. I got connected with Emma Sateri, who's based in Australia. We had weekly check-in calls on Zoom, and that was really helpful. And Emma was so supportive and understanding. She made it so easy for me to be vulnerable and to share myself. And that just made the experience so much more enjoyable. My why behind it was so powerful that it gave me the motivation to stick to the plan. There was some times where I wanted to indulge in ice cream, and that's definitely one of my vices when it comes to what I choose to indulge in, since I wasn't drinking anymore. I learned that, it's okay to allow yourself to have some ice cream as long as, you don't just give up at that point. But, focus on doing the best you can, focusing on your macros and tracking your calories. I started using MyFitnessPal, the app, much more diligently, since I had some meals that I could prepare in advance. That made tracking the nutrition so much easier. And that's something that I've continued to do. So I've been going to the gym on this program for over a year. And when I finished the program, I had lost 50 pounds, which was awesome. I feel so much better. I feel like I look so much better. I lost a lot of weight around my midsection and in my face. And, I've definitely started to feel like the version of myself that I've been visualizing for a while. And that definitely has given me a lot more self-confidence. It has given me much more pride in myself and in my appearance. And it's helped me to love myself more. In October of 2021, I was battling a major case of depression. And this was coming from feelings of inadequacy and low self-esteem in terms of where I was at in my career. For a little over 5 years now, I've been working for a financial company doing back office customer service work, which is not something that is in alignment with my long-term career goals. My long-term career goals are more like photography and videography, video editing, which is another motivator for the why behind me starting this podcast. It's giving me more of the tools to help me get to where I want to be in my career. Because of this, this disconnect of what I expected myself to be doing versus what I am doing, it's caused me a great deal of anxiety, and it was really debilitating. I got really overwhelmed towards the latter half of 2021 with not feeling like I was doing good enough to get to where I wanted to be. I was started feeling really hopeless, and that downward spiral, just I got caught up in it. Hey guys, brief pause in the episode to tell you about some of the great businesses that support this podcast. First, we got Weight Train. Use code EvolvedPodcast to get 10% off all Weight Train and Athleticity gym gear and apparel. No matter what you need for your workouts, they have the gear to help you get it done. And if you don't see something you want, email them at team@weighttrain.com and they will take your requests for new products. Visit Weight Train for all your gym gear needs. Next is True Nutrition. Use code EvolvedPodcast to get 5% off all nutrition supplements. I'm personally a fan of their soy isolate vegan protein powder, available in a variety of flavors and strengths, from light to heavy. They also have non-vegan protein powders if that's not your thing. I personally recommend the cinnamon bun and toasted coconut flavors in the heavy strength, and I add them to waffles, oatmeal, protein shakes, and ice cream. They're delicious. Check out their wide range of supplements at affordable prices that are third-party tested and verified for content quality. They are able to provide such great prices because the supplements come direct from the manufacturer without any marketing gimmicks or fancy labels. Visit truenutrition.com to supplement your workouts and your nutrition. Last is Hate Brand Goods. Use code EvolvedPodcast to get 15% off all Hate Brand clothing and accessories. Their goat shorts and shirts are the most comfortable clothing I've ever worn, and they have the coolest designs. However, their clothing drops are only available in limited quantities, so get your favorites while you can, and be on the lookout for other drops that you're stoked on. Visit thehate.com, spelled HVIII, for clothing to remind the world that you're not dead yet and you're ready to kick today in the dick. Back to the show. I, talked to my doctor about it. I talked to my manager about it, and took a little bit of time off work, took some PTO for about a week. I started going back to therapy, and I started taking SSRIs for depression. The version I take is sertraline, and I take a pretty low dosage of 50 milligrams per day. That's the generic version of Zoloft. And that was really helpful for me in just maintaining a balance, like maintaining homeostasis. Like, it's not a dramatic boost, but it does help me to stay grounded, and it helps me to like ride the wave of sadness and personal hardships a lot more easily, so that when negative moments do arise, I don't immediately start spiraling. I can, be more mindful, to take pause, and to grow, and to find moments of gratitude, and finding my way into the next positive experience, and really cultivating that and creating more positivity in my life, and looking for opportunities for improvement. In addition to that, I've been able to do more creative projects at work, which has led to professional development opportunities in my job. It's given more exposure to myself as a creative person and as an editor, and that's really helpful and encouraging for me as I continue to try to achieve my career goals. My partner Suzanne and I, we got engaged in February of 2021 as well, and we've been planning our wedding for some time now. We are very excited for that, and we set the date for October 29th of this year, 2022. So that's coming up. We are very, very stoked for that, as our friends in the family. Definitely we'll be sharing more about that as we get closer to it. But we moved in together into this apartment where we're at now in May of 2022. Around that time, I also graduated from VCU in the Advanced Media Production Technology program that I was doing. I started that program in 2020, around the time that I did the podcast with Amanda. And that was a great experience for me in furthering my production and post-production skills in film and audio. And I did that program part-time since I was also working full-time. It's usually a 1-year program, but I did it in 2 years. I'm really grateful for that experience as well. This is our first apartment together. We also chose to adopt a dog in July of 2021, Daphne. We love her very much. She is a mixed German Shepherd, Collie, Pit Bull, Akita. She's a mutt, but she's very special, very unique, very near and dear to our hearts. And we'll have had her for a year, her Gotcha Day, coming up this July 17th. So when this podcast comes out, we'll have already had that Gotcha Day anniversary. But we are definitely looking forward to many more years with Daphne. But since we moved in together and we got a dog together, it's definitely tested our relationship in certain ways. One thing that I've had to work on is my communication, and making sure that I'm being communicative of how I'm relating to my partner, and making sure that her needs are being met as well as mine. And that has been a challenge, but with all things, I think it will be helpful for us as we continue to grow together as individuals and as future husband and wife. So grateful for Suzanne. She's helped push me outside of my comfort zones and given me so many opportunities for growth. If it weren't for her, we wouldn't have Daphne. I was a little hesitant to getting a dog at first, but she really wanted one. And, I am very grateful that we have her now, just because she's brought so much joy into our lives and continues to, I think, bring us closer every day. I'm looking forward to what's to come. There's a lot of good things coming towards us, as I just turned 35 this past April. Suze is turning 30 in November, a month after our wedding. We are just growing and evolving together in many different ways. And, I'm grateful that I'm able to live on my own terms without alcohol. Since quitting drinking in 2019, I have really started to feel much more like myself without alcohol. I think when I was in college, when I started drinking, I felt like I needed alcohol as a crutch because I was much more anxious, and it was very much a social lubricant for me to help me get out of my own head. And unfortunately, I made some bad decisions in my life as a result of that. With less inhibitions, I've learned my lessons, and I'm trying to make amends for that to myself, as well as the people that I've hurt in the past. And I genuinely mean that. We can't change the past, but we can change how we live moving forward. And that's my goal, and that's my intention for my life, just to be the best version of myself now. It's taken me a long time. but I have gotten to a point in my life where I have been able to forgive myself for my past mistakes and past harms to other people. I recognize that there is still more room for growth, and I'm embracing that wholeheartedly and with the best intentions. So here's to what's to come in 2023. Here's to what's to come with this podcast and all the great experiences and new things to learn from all of our guests. I really hope that it is as beneficial for you as it is for me. Cheers. Hey guys, thanks for checking out our podcast. I hope you got a lot out of it and it was helpful for you in your personal growth journey. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast yet, please do so on your preferred podcast provider. We're available on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Stay blessed and keep the PMA. Later.